Today I am testing the UW-03 wash and cure station from Creality and try to answer the question of whether such a device is really worth it or not. I love painting miniatures, and for a few years now I've been printing my minis with resin 3D printers instead of buying them ready-made. The only issue is that I hate post-processing. It takes forever and always produces a huge mess. I always have to force myself to print a new model. But Creality gave me the chance to test whether a wash and cure station makes post-processing easy or not. The UW-03 wash and cure station consists of the base, a turntable for even curing, a large container for washing the prints and a matching hood that protects against the UV light from the LEDs. The volume is huge. You can also use it to finish large objects. There are 4 buttons on the front with which you can operate the entire device. But before I can even test it, I first have to 3D print something. After searching for a while, I finally chose the solar guard from Red Makers. These miniatures are extremely detailed, which makes them ideal for painting. Post-processing also needs to be done carefully so that no resin residue remains in the fine holes or cracks and is accidentally cured. After printing, the real work begins. First, I have to remove the individual parts from the print bed. I printed a total of 10 minis with all the small parts. One half I treated like I have improvised in the past, and for the other half I used the wash and cure station to get a feel for whether it is really worth it and makes the whole process easier. In the past I have washed the freshly printed parts by hand in a small container with alcohol and tried to get into the smallest cracks and holes with a brush. This process takes a long time, especially if you have printed so many objects at the same time. But what bothers me the most is that you have to hang over the container with alcohol the whole time and either inhale the vapors or wear a mask. This is much easier with the wash and cure station. Put in the parts, close the lid and start the wash program. You can set the speed of the rotor and the duration of the washing process. The rotor is attached at the bottom in such a way that the tank cannot leak. You can also remove it for easy cleaning. Once the washing process is complete, you can remove the basket inside the container with the objects and allow them to drain and dry. The wash and cure station has no influence on the removal of the supports. If the supports have been placed well and are correct dimensioned, they can be removed without leaving any residue. Finally, the parts need to be completely cured to make them more durable. In theory, all you need is a UV lamp with the right wavelength. Most resins for 3D printing cure at a wavelength of around 405 nanometers. Coincidentally, most nail polish curing lamps also emit this wavelength. The only problem with this method is that you have to turn the objects regularly so that all sides are cured evenly. In addition, the volume is limited, making it difficult to cure larger objects. With the UW-03 wash and cure station from Creality, curing is much more convenient. Instead of the wash container, a small turntable is now placed on the base. Next, all the objects are placed on the turntable. Then the cover comes on. The program cannot be started without it. The only thing that bothers me about the device is the loud beeping sound when you switch it on. I select the normal speed and 10 minutes curing time. And then you have to wait. But unlike the improvised curing method, you don't have to keep turning the objects to reach every point on the surface. I only flip the object once so that the other side can also be cured. And by the way, if you are interested in the Creality UW-03, you will find the link to the official store in the video description. The wash and cure station has no influence on the quality of the objects, unless you forget some resin in small cracks or holes in the model during manual washing. Then this residue is also cured and may swallow up important details. Automatic washing is not only faster, it also avoids such mistakes. The continuously moving washing medium in the container ensures that even the smallest holes and cracks in the objects are reached. And to be on the safe side, the rotor changes its direction in between and thus also the flow. So, is a wash and cure station, and in particular the UW-03 from Creality, worth it? The bottom line is that both washing and curing are much more convenient and easier with the wash and cure station. Basically, it depends on how often you work with the resin 3D printer. I print new miniatures every few weeks, so this device is definitely worth it for me for the time it saves alone.